Right. And I think you handled it really well. You understood his disappointment, but you refocused him and said, hey, you know, you won tonight. You had a good outing tonight. You won tonight. It's very positive. And I think that was really the right way to do it with him because obviously he was upset.
Yeah, and before we get to our fight, I'd like to get your opinion. I was really impressed with Teofimo here tonight. I thought it was a really mature performance, very skilled performance in there. You know, it's just, he's a really good thinker in there.
Now, next bout at 141 pounds, Jaron Ennis and Gary Russell. And we just...
Gary Russell, who we're seeing in there tonight, is coming out of the so-called challengers bracket, which meant that he lost earlier in the week. And by doing that, he's actually following his brother's road because Gary Russell Jr., when he went to the Olympic Games a few years ago, also came out of what was then called the losers bracket, the challengers bracket.
So they've got more in common than just their last names, their first and last names. Well, Jaron Ennis and Gary Russell have wasted no time getting after it. Good shot to the midsection by Russell. And again, another rarity, a couple left-handers.
You see a lot of left-handers in amateur boxing. And when we mentioned that Gary Russell had lost, it was to this man when they fought earlier in the week. So he's got to turn it around. It was a split decision when he lost to him. Not all of the Gary Russells box. There is one of the brothers that doesn't. But the four of them have all won the Golden Gloves.
Yeah, that was the opening fight when he lost to Ennis. We mentioned split decision, 2-1 count.
I was there earlier this year in Las Vegas. Boy, that's a great exchange by these two. So this looks like it's turning into a real good fight.
Yeah, Russell, with that right hand, he landed right on the jaw.
When Gary Russell Jr. won his world championship earlier this year down in Las Vegas, I got a chance to call that fight. It was such a skilled performance. He beat Johnny Gonzalez, and it was an unmitigated beatdown in just a few rounds against a really good champion with a big punch. So Gary Russell as a pro is maturing, and Gary Russell as an amateur might be maturing right before our eyes here tonight.
Jonathan Walpole is our official. As you mentioned earlier, Rich, all 10 fights, all 10 different officials. Each one will work one.
As usual, Gary Russell giving away height. Seems like he has to do that in every fight. Good work to the body, though, by Russell at the end of the round.
Let's take a look at the action for the first round.
There's those long arms, though, you can see of Jaron Ennis. Some of those guys can be, like, very difficult to fight. I remember Ernie Terrell got the nickname the Octopus from Muhammad Ali because he had those long...
Again, Jaron Ennis in the red and Gary Russell in the blue.
Oh, there's the mouthpiece.
Yeah, big punch landed by Ennis.
At professional boxing, they would have let that just continue until there was a lull in the action.
Get a quick look at it, and you watch that mouthpiece go flying. There it is, on her right hand.
Yes, and you can see the referee immediately stop the action. That's the difference from the pros when they wait.
I got brain fart on it.
I think Ennis is doing a better job this round of keeping Russell at bay.
Well, he's utilizing a little bit of movement.
Keep him at the end of his right hand of that jab.
Now, Ennis wants this fight, you would think, in long range, but sometimes he rushes Russell like this and is willing to engage him in close.
As you said, protect yourself at all times. You can see that punch and the expression on Ennis' face. He thought the ref had broken him.
If Russell can win this fight, they would fight for a third time tomorrow. Third time within a week.
And you hear people say all the time, I'd pay to see that fight. Well, if they do fight tomorrow, you don't have to pay to see it. It'll be free right here at the event center.
Wow. I know a few major sports franchises owners of major sports franchises who would shudder at the very thought of that.
Exactly. What do you mean free? You know, I thought Ennis took the first part of the round, but I think Russell's getting the better half in the second part of the round.
Oh, he walked right into that little looping right hand of Russell. Jaron Ennis, I think he'd be better off if he was to keep the fight at distance, but it looks like he wants to be close to Russell. Now utilizing some movement.
Interesting second round.
Yeah, another tough one to score.
I was about to say the same thing, but for me, they're all tough to see. We'll see after we look at the replay if we get a better idea of who won that round.
Well, it got up to kind of a spectacular start in the early moments. As you see that right hand knocking the mouthpiece of Gary Russell out. It was a good clean punch that sent the mouthpiece flying. He mixed it up pretty good.
Yeah, Jaron Ennis out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Gary Russell from Capitol Heights, Maryland. Yeah, I mean, all five brothers, as you mentioned earlier, named Gary Russell, and 4 of the 5 box and were all successful.
I don't think there's ever been a case of 4 brothers winning Golden Gloves championship.
There's the mouthpiece again. Russell's mouthpiece is out. Take one more look. We'll see where it came out. There it is.
Again, it was from a punch.
A right hand.
He's not spitting the mouthpiece out, and I don't think it's a case of an ill-fitting mouthpiece, because in each case it was a clean punch knocked it out. Russell, a little more aggressive here to start the round.
And it gets knocked out when you're not biting down on it. And that's if you have your mouth open, that's an easy way to get a broken jaw.
Good start to the round by Russell.
Good right hand by Russell, another one. I think Russell's trying to get to him, and Ennis is trying to smother the punches.
Yeah, and if Ennis had thoughts of like keeping the fight at a distance in this round, Russell was forcing him into a firefight. Really good work to the body.
Good exchange. I think Russell hurt him a little bit, that shot to the midsection.
Well, Ennis realizes he's in a fight. He's got a fight right here. And that was a good few moments for him. Right after he got nailed.
I had the feeling that Russell was trailing coming into this third round, so he's got to stay active, keep his hands moving.
And a reminder, for those of you who joined us late, may not have heard the scoring explanation, the fight is scored by 5 judges, but only 3 of the scores will count. They're picked randomly by computers for who's, there goes the mouthpiece again, third time. And it is on a 10-point must system.
You have to have a 10-9 round. Let's see where the piece comes out again. I didn't see the actual punch that struck it in. That was a warning about the mouthpiece.
Well, even if a guy is intentionally spinning it out, after a while, it will end up costing you a point. It keeps coming out.
Yeah, these guys toe-to-toe. The crowd is loving it.
Well, that was really a good hot round there at the end.
We're looking at one another, shrugging our shoulders.
Yeah.
Even asked Andre Ward, what do you think? He said, I don't know. What do you think, Mitch?
It's just a tough call. It's a very close fight. I almost wouldn't hazard a guess. I think maybe Russell might have pulled it out in that third round.
Well, he had to do a lot of work. I'm kind of going the other way. I think Ennis, but we'll see.
Good action in that round, though. It was really high-level stuff. Both fighters. I think Ennis might have thought coming out for the round that, you know, I'm gonna like box in this round, and just Russell was not gonna let him do that. And then Ennis became more than willing to go ahead. All right, then let's fight.
Yeah, we're getting an extended look at that round. There's where the mouthpiece came out. You wonder what effect that might have on the score. They didn't take a point away. I would not be surprised if this was a split decision once again.
Well, I thought it was a close fight. Real good action fight, though.
Both corners saying to the opposing corner, the opposing fighter, good fight. It was.
Boxing out of the blue corner.